Hello, Buddhas. Today we are going to talk about the idea of thinking. Now, Buddhas, if you haven't already, there's a playlist down below with over 100 videos in it that you can watch for a spiritual awakening. And while you're down there, I very much appreciate the hitting of the subscribe button, the like button, and the bell notification. Write a comment about how much you love yourself, and then we can get into today's sponsor, which is, you guessed it, taking a deep breath. So Buddhas, we are all going to inhale and release. Now, thinking about thinking sounds kind of meta, but if you really think about it, any thought that you have is a reflection of the past. This is because we exist in a time-space reality, as far as we can tell, where things are constantly moving forward. And if things are constantly moving forward, at least if we assume that they are, and then we think about what's going on, as soon as I have thought about the environment that I'm in, what I'm actually seeing is a record of the past of what that environment was, possibly just a moment ago, but it's still the past. You're not in the now if you're thinking. And this is extremely important and profound for meditative practices. I've got videos down below in that playlist that talk about all kinds of different ways you can get into that zone, in that meditative state of mind. But if you are constantly going crazy about what you're thinking, then you're going to have a difficult time releasing those thoughts. So one of the ideas from Dr. David Hawkins, actually, not the physicist, another guy, another Hawkins, is to release all of those thoughts. So when a thought pops into your head, you know by default that that thought is perfect, because it's a thought, and all thoughts are beautiful and perfect. But the secret here becomes releasing it and not allowing that thought to control you. This is very important for the meditative practice and for coming into the now moment, because if you're constantly obsessed with these thoughts, and we are trained to and default mode to being obsessed with these thoughts, if you are constantly in that state, you're constantly living microseconds, nanoseconds in the past. You're not now. Even watching this video, by the time the content of this video actually goes through the speakers and reaches your earballs and goes through the screen and reaches your eyeballs, you're seeing in the past. It's so minute that it doesn't really change anything, but it is the past. You're looking at a reflection of things that have already happened. We can really see this when it comes to astronomy. When we look at the planets or the stars, or even the closest one, which is the sun, you know, that big ball of light in the sky? Well, it's in the past. It would take 7 minutes for us to actually know if the sun were to disappear. Because it takes 7 minutes, as far as we know, for the light to leave the sun and come to Earth. Okay? So what you're seeing all the time is 7 minutes ago when you look at the sun, because it moves across the sky constantly, or we move across it, you know, whichever perspective you want to take, and you're seeing where it was 7 minutes ago. And imagine this, but hundreds of light years away, or thousands of light years away. All of the stars that you see at night are not actually where you're looking at them, they were there. And this is beautiful and profound in so many different ways, but not 100% what I'm talking about with thoughts, because the thoughts are so much more personal, to me anyways. A thought is something that happens in your head. It comes to you. It is produced by you. I'm not 100% sure, but it is how we define ourselves as you. You define yourself based on your thoughts most of the time. So if you can disassociate from the thoughts and to really just be the observer in the now, and to allow the thought to come in, to be grateful for it, and to be like, what a pleasant thought. But not to think too much about the thought itself, because again, that's all happening in the past. So if you can work on this, and it is something that I am starting to work on now, and I just wanted to share it with you right away because it's so profound to me that the observation of my thoughts is more present than the thinking of my thoughts. And I'm going to leave it at that today, Buddhas. Thank you for enjoying this content. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so that we can get this out to as many Buddhas as possible. And remember, the absolutely most important thing is to love yourself.